Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I would just be sitting here talking to myself. You know, they always tell me, don't quit your day job, and I'm not. I'm sitting in good old traffic on the Beltway here, trying to get to work on this rainy Friday, but at least it is Friday. And you know what that means? If it's Friday night, and we'll be live streaming at 9 o'clock Eastern. And I hope to see you guys there with your questions and comments and stuff about everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. For me, I actually enjoy driving. It gives my mind a time to just run wild and think. One of the greatest things I ever got to do, in fact, was with United Way. We had to do photo shoots with each of the 32 teams, and the majority of them we drove to, and it was like literally barnstorming because we drove 14,500 miles across the country. I mean, we went from DC to Atlanta we did a drive-by in Dallas, stopped in Houston, hit the Cardinals, did a drive-by the Grand Canyon on the way to San Francisco, flew to Denver, flew back, drove down to Oxnard, hit the Cowboys, flew home, and then hit Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Detroit, Cincinnati, the Saints in West Virginia, and then on to Tennessee to Indianapolis, St. Louis, Chicago, then to New York, Philly, and then Washington and Richmond. And we even had a Florida trip too, so it was pretty amazing. So, of course, at that time I got lots of pictures and I got lots of clear thoughts in my head. But as I'm riding down through here, my thoughts are Jerry Jones. Love him or hate him, football would not be the same if it weren't for Jerry Jones. Because a lot of people will say, Jerry Jones in the Hall of Fame, are you kidding me? Well, quite honestly, he deserves it. Because he changed football. When he came into the Dallas Cowboys, a historic franchise that was completely at rock bottom. Unfortunately, Tom Landry, the innovator, football passed him by. Tom Landry was the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the GM. He did it all. And that worked until it didn't. Teams caught up. Teams started innovating themselves. The flex defense no longer worked. The sea of players that he was able to get from historically black colleges or track athletes, Bob Willie Hayes, he wasn't getting. And they started failing in the draft. So they had been at that peak where they couldn't get to the big one with Danny White, and that talent got old and they weren't replaced, and they literally hit rock bottom. I won't say that I like the way that Tom Landry was released, but it was time for him to be retired. And for Jerry Jones to take his money and invest in a team that was literally rock bottom and build it into one of the most valuable franchises in all of sports across the world has been amazing. And the way he did it, he did different things, from getting their own deals. And at this time, that was unheard of. Other teams were fighting it. What do you mean? You're going to go out and make your own deals? You know, he had the Nike swoosh on the old Texas Stadium. But what he has done is generated more revenue for all of the 32 teams. The television contracts, the Dallas Cowboys being promoted to the nth degree, and you can see that with the Dallas Cowboys having 3 of the top 5 selling jerseys. And for him to take the risk that he has with bringing in a college coach, when it used to be always the coaching tree of coaches that just got rotated from team to team. He took a college coach. He took his best player on the team and traded away. When at the time, people said, they're crazy. The Vikings got the best of the deal. The Vikings are going to get to the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys, well, they're just going to get even worse. And lo and behold, we had the 90s dynasty. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that Jerry Jones has done has been perfect or right, because nobody gets everything 100% right. You know, we've had mistakes from Barry Switzer, getting rid of Jimmy Johnson, and some of the coaches that we brought in, and maybe some of the trades. But you have to at least appreciate that Jerry Jones is always trying to do the best he can for the Dallas Cowboys. And sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. But he keeps trying. You know, if it doesn't work this way, we're going to do that. But when you look at things that he's accomplished, like the Palace in Dallas, the experience for the fans, you know, when you go there on Saturday, you're down on the field, you got rowdy, you got the cheerleaders, you got the stadium tour. It includes the fans and makes them feel a part of it. You know, here it is. I've got 2 paving stones that are outside of the stadium. And it makes me feel like I own 2 little pieces of the Dallas Cowboys. When you look at Jerry Jones evolving and putting people in the right places to succeed, you look at Jerry Jones constantly keeping the Dallas Cowboys in the headlines. There's no such thing as bad media. You have to give hats off to Jerry Jones. And I was fortunate enough to meet him one time this past year. And I got to tell you, it was great talking to him for a few moments. It was just like talking to a regular guy. You know, and I hope to actually see Jerry Jones again, and love to have another longer conversation with him, pick his brain some. Because love him or hate him, the guy is fascinating. And if you enjoy the Dallas Cowboys, you need to thank Jerry Jones. Finally, the traffic is beginning to move. I hope to see you guys tonight when we live stream at 9 Eastern. And as always, friends, keep spreading the mojo.